I don't like where this is going. Stop! Stop! No, 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 no. Please, lady, you don't understand. You don't know what you're doing here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nader, and actually, we're simulcasting tonight, also at Sauerkraus's channel. And yes, guys, this is the long-awaited non-spoiler review of the Nindroid Last Jedi cut. Yes, I know, this is the most anticipated release of 2021, and you don't gotta wait much longer because it's in 19 days. Correct me if I'm wrong, comes out the 28th, and it's the 9th. So yes, 19 days, guys. It's coming out. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty sick review. I am of course joined by Sauerkraus on his channel. Sauerkraus, say hi.
Hi.
Sauer just said hi, and we got Dylan's Little Hobbies in the house.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on, Austin.
No problem. We gotta go through the chat first. We got a lot of people in the chat. Let's make them feel welcome. We got view.
Boy, it's gonna be hard to review this without getting into spoilers, let me tell you.
Oh man, it is gonna be hard, but I think we can do it. Drew, what's up? We got Tim in the house. What's up, Tim? Hail, Tim. We got JJ in the house. What's up, JJ? Tim's like hashtag release the Nindroid cut. So, yes, today we're reviewing the Nindroid cut. And yes, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you guys are expecting spoilers, well, it ain't gonna happen. So before we begin, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me on my own YouTube channel, Sauerkraus. And tomorrow we're finally doing the final What If stream. All 3 of the latest episodes. Not just 2, but 3. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Sunday. So definitely check that out to get our thoughts. You can also find me on Discord at Sauerkraus4433, Instagram at Sauerkraus06, and also Twitter at Sauerkraus06. And I am also found on the Austiners channel, Dylan Hobbies channel, and the creator of this cut, Nindroid243's channel.
Good deal. Good deal. We got Kavari in the chat. What's up, Kavari? Dylan, where can they find you at?
You guys can, of course, find me not only on Nindroid's channel, hashtag release the Nindroid cut, which we are talking tonight. You can also find me on the Austinator and Sauerkraus for all of his stuff. You can also find me, of course, on my own YouTube channel where I do have a couple plans to come out with videos, but I'm kind of in a tough spot, so it might be scarce. But you can definitely check me out over there. I have over 100 subs. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on, Austin.
No problem. We got Danny in the chat. What's up, Danny? Great to see you. All right, enough of the bullshit. All right, let's cut the bullshit and let's just talk about it. Overall thoughts. I'm gonna let Sauer start off. What are your overall thoughts on the Last Jedi Nindroid cut?
Sauer.
All right. Well, I think we'll just skip Sauer further.
Sorry. No, I'll do it. No, it's fine. Sorry, I'm here. Overall thoughts. I thought it was really good. Dare I say, even better than the theatrical cut. Which, I mean, it's not that hard to be better than that pile of shit. But yeah. Overall, I really enjoyed it. There's some parts where could have been a bit better in my opinion, but yeah, for what it was, I really liked it.
All right. Good deal. We got Brightest Day in the chat. What's up, Brightest Day? All right, Dylan, what are your overall thoughts on the Last Jedi Nindroid cut?
My overall thoughts is, truly, it's actually just this cut actually truly shows how incredibly stupid the people behind episode 8 are, in my opinion, because simply put, his cut is just epic. It really is just epic. And episode 8 just let me down so much compared to the Nindroid cut. I absolutely did love it. And believe me, that there are some moments that are, of course, animated because, there's no way Nindroid can do this live action. And these animated pieces are very well done, very well animated. But man, making them, seeing the ideas behind Nindroid's vision, it makes me just want to see this whole thing in live action. And of course, it will never happen. But truly, it just shows how epic Star Wars can be. How epic you could have taken this story, and how much Disney has failed us as fans. I loved and enjoyed episode 8, and it's way better than the heap of trash that we got from the original episode 8, in my opinion.
All right, good deal. I'm gonna echo basically everybody on the panel. I thought this cut was done really well. It kind of like Dylan's, like, because I don't want to go into spoilers, so I'm going to just try and say my thoughts the best I can. This cut was really good. It does a lot of things that The Last Jedi should have done. All the stupid shit that was in the movie, that's taken out, like the things that don't work. Nindroid makes it into a way that it does work. I do have a couple negatives with this cut because it's not perfect, but they're mainly nitpicks though. Like, I wouldn't say they're like major problems, but I'd say they're more under the lines of how, like, criticisms, not necessarily criticisms, but like things that he could maybe improve on with the last one, Into the Darkness, which I'll talk about. Like, I don't want to go into real specifics until we get into our positives and negatives. So I'd say my overall thoughts were, it's a really good cut, and it's definitely an improvement over The Last Jedi, 100%. And I guess the second thing that we're going to be talking about, which I guess is the movie different than the theatrical cut, and does it live up to the hype? I should have put does it live up to the hype here, but I didn't. Here, let me change that. But Dylan, you can start first.
Okay. Before I do, I have a question for you, Austinator. I don't know if it's one of your cards or not, but I'm very impressed with the pacing of this movie. It's not easy to pace a movie, and this movie is quite long. I'm not going to spoil how long it is, but I'm very impressed with how good the pacing is. Now, there are some moments where I feel like the pacing could be improved upon. Of course, it's not perfect, but I'm really impressed with Nindroid's work. So, what are your thoughts about the pacing?
The pacing, for the most part, was really well handled. Like, it flowed together really well. There are a few moments, which I'll get into when I get into my negatives, where I think the pacing's a little off, and I do think but I'll talk about that more once we get into the negatives and stuff. So here are the basic questions. Here is the movie different than the theatrical cut, and does this film live up to the hype? Dylan, you can start.
Yep, the movie is very different from the theatrical cut. Again, it's, in my opinion, 10 times better than the theatrical cut. There's so many differences. A way better dialogue, improved scenes, again, animated scenes, because this is a fan cut. But honestly, these scenes, take away the fact that they're animated the ideas behind them that improve the overall story is just incredible. That it's so different from the theatrical cut. I gave the theatrical cut 1 out of 10, and I'm not gonna give my number right now, but I can tell you what, this is way better than 1 out of 10. Does the film live up to the hype? That is for everyone to decide themselves. I really want everyone to see this. But for me personally, I can say this. It definitely lives up to the hype.
All right, I like those answers. Sour, what is the movie different from the theatrical cut, and does this film live up to the hype?
This movie is very much different from the theatrical cut. Like basically almost everything about it, much different than whatever the fuck the theatrical cut was. And does the movie live up to the hype? My opinion, yes, it does. Now we're Nindroid is some of his closest friends, and so you might be saying, they're biased. They have to say this. No, if it was shit, it would be saying it out loud, up front. And hell, I'll even say this: no diss to the animator, no diss at all. Like, I'm really like not trying to like harass them or anything like that. But in my opinion, the animation kind of was a deteriorating part of, like, kind of deteriorated my enjoyment. Although I still really enjoyed this, in my opinion, the animation could have been better. But that's fine. I still really enjoyed it. So, I'm not biased when I say that this movie is really good. Really
Yeah, it's
solid.
one of those things that
Solid.
it's one of those things that Nindroid can't really control. So
Right.
No.
But I'm also I think we're all with Sour here is that if it was bad, we would just flat out say it was bad. Like we're not like we don't have a bias.
if you want something bad, check out my own cut.
Yes, check out Dylan's cut. It is really bad.
Did you watch it, Austin?
Oh, I watched some of it.
The idea is there, but it's complete trash. I have completely tore apart that movie about 20 times, put it back together about 30 times. It's trash.
Yeah, it's oh boy. I mean, it's you just gotta keep working on it. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Is this movie different from the theatrical cut? Well, I'm glad to say yes. There are a lot of plot lines that are added into this film, and the plot lines that are in this movie that were already in the theatrical cut are greatly improved. Characters are changed. There's more footage of characters. Characters are changed. Like, everything in this movie is practically different. Like, most of it is still the same, though, but it is different, drastically different in some cases. And does this film live up to the hype? Absolutely. I think Nindroid did a great job with what he was able to accomplish. I think he did what he set out to do, which was improve this film. Now, keep in mind, was everything perfect? No. But not every movie is. I think you have to go in. Well, I'll say this is part of my negatives, but it's, I'd say it is a really well executed story. But like I said, I'm not going to go into my specifics yet until we get into our positives and negatives. Tim says, is Kylo Ren still shredded and have an 8-pack? I can't spoil that because then
we won't spoil that.
Unfortunately, we can't spoil it. And JJ's like, oh, come on, Dylan. You like The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah, I love The Last Jedi. 1 out of 10.
I love the part where they died.
Oh, yeah, that was such a great scene. Such a perfect scene. All right, let's talk about our overall positives. I'll let Dylan start off.
Okay, so my overall positives, I really like, and I'm not going to get into any spoilers, obviously, but I really like Luke in this movie. I have so many problems with Luke as a character within Episode 8, as does really all of us, And I'm not going to get into specifics because that will get in spoiler territory, but Luke was he definitely fixed Luke for me. That was a major positive within this movie was the character of Luke Skywalker. Snoke was a lot more intimidating in this film. That was fantastic. One of the biggest things, though, and I know people will not agree with me on this, is I did not like Rey in this movie. So Rey in the original Episode 8, I mean, not in the Nindroid Cut, but in the original Episode 8, I liked Rey from Episode 7. That's the Rey I knew. And then we get into Episode 8, and to me, she is so emotionless, and it's like she's just tossed dialogue. It's like the actor is just tossed dialogue, said to say this and move on. There's no emotion from the character like how she was in Episode 7. And I feel like in this version, there are multiple moments that I've really enjoyed the emotion out of the character. That was something I really did enjoy. I also really enjoyed actually. The majority of the film was just fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Again, most of the pacing was really good. Um, yeah, most of the positives that I have just go into you. I'm a fanboy of Nindroid, obviously, so I think I'll end it there.
All right. Sour, what are your positives?
Positives? Well, I fully agree with Dylan. Luke in this was so much better. So much better. Nindroid actually treated him with respect. Luke in this was amazing. Really, really amazing. And he was so much better. Just so much better. And you will see that once it comes out for everyone. I feel like he did Rey yeah, he definitely did Rey a lot better and definitely fixed up a lot of the characters. And as Dylan previously mentioned before, the pacing in this is surprisingly really good. I was suspecting good pacing, obviously, but damn, this is some great pacing for a pretty long movie. I'm not gonna say how long it is. Just you're gonna spend a lot of time with this.
I mean, I don't really think the runtime to spoil it though.
Do we want to say?
Yeah.
Well, I'll get into it when I get into my negatives because that might be a negative of mine. But
yeah, because I actually heard that Nindroid. I'm not gonna say anything, but there's a couple of things that based off of this review, Nindroid might make some changes before he puts out the final cut for the final review. So the timing might actually change.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sour, continue.
Alright. And the story much better than in the theatrical cut. I really do enjoy this story much more. It doesn't feel like the Cano Bite doesn't feel like it's just padded out just for the sake of it. It actually feels like it has importance. And Kylo Ren, oh my god, Kylo Ren is probably the best he's ever been in any of these movies, if I'm being honest. And Kylo Ren was one of the best parts of the sequel trilogy, so that says a lot. And yeah, those are my positives.
Good shit. I guess I'm gonna have to echo everybody. Luke in this film was absolutely terrific. I think Luke does not come off as a complete asshole in this movie. Like, he's still an asshole, but he's not an asshole in the sense of, well, fuck you, Ray, I don't want to train you. I'm a disrespectful prick. Like, he's treated as, like, a character who's lost his way, essentially. And, like, this is kind of his film, which I really appreciate. I really did enjoy Rey in this movie as well. She actually came off as a character that, you know, was genuine, and she actually, and again, like kind of like Dylan said, she wasn't like as emotionless or a character who's just like, well, I'm just too powerful for no reason. Like, there's none of that stupidity. Like, she came off as a likable character. The Poe stuff I thought was handled really well. Because again, I don't want to go into like spoilers and stuff, but Poe was handled really well. Finn actually does something. Kylo was great. LDG's got question marks. Yeah, yes, we are simul streaming LDG. Kylo Ren, like Sour said, he was really good. Like Kylo Ren, like he was the best part of the sequel trilogy. I agree. I liked a couple of sequences, especially, you know, towards, you know, around the beginning aspect. The small changes that they do, that he does really works. I did enjoy there's just a lot of things I really liked, especially towards the beginning. I like that there's a lot more Snoke in this movie. He came off as very intimidating. I like that there's a lot more Phasma in this movie, which is something that was missing from the theatrical cut. Mm-hmm. There is kind of a negative in that, which I'll kind of explain in my negatives. The pacing for the most part was really good. I like the score. Everything flows together really well. Like overall, like a lot of this, both of this movie really works. And that, I think we can all agree, is that basically a majority of this film basically works. Or, like, it's really good. So I'd say just overall, like, a lot, like, basically all, like, the most important stuff was fixed. And I think the most important stuff works really well. And now let's get into our negatives if we have any. I'm going to let Sour start first.
Negatives, well, I already said this. And like animation, like I mean, it's kind of like out of his touch and stuff, but yeah, the animation was good. Don't get me wrong, especially when there's like fight scenes, but you could 100% tell when something needed to be animated. I mean, it's kind of hard not to do that, but you know, still kind of have to fold it a little bit for that. And what Austinator said, the pacing could be affected if Nindroid goes back and redoes some things from this cut. And a lot of my other negatives, to be honest, are kind of spoilery, so I can't really say.
Yeah.
Okay. Dylan, what are your negatives?
All right, so one negative that I actually have is and I'm just gonna say a name. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but Maskana. That is all I'm going to say. And then another. It's really interesting because I keep talking about how great the pacing is. Like I said, we basically saw the full version. And just like with an actual movie, sometimes when you watch it back, there are certain moments. They're very few and far between, but the pacing is so well done. And then you got a scene that comes in that really slows down the pacing and doesn't fit the pacing at all. So there are a few scenes that, and I told Nindroid about this, there are just a few cutouts because they're it's not that they don't have a point, but it's that they're unnecessary and that they really kind of slow down, drag down the movie, which is really weird because I would say about 98% of the movie is like perfectly paced. You just got these somewhat weird moments that are slowly paced that he needs to fix, in my opinion. That's the only negatives that I really have. Actually, that's right. I don't have Rose. I don't have what's her name? Holdo. I don't have Finn. Those are not negatives in this movie compared to the original episode 8. So that's good. That's good.
All right, good deal. My negatives, I'm kind of with Sour here. The animation did kind of take me out of this movie a little bit. Like, I understand that I'm not going to hold the movie against it, but I do think the animation could have been a lot better. Especially with like the face animations, like it was very stiff at times. Like the characters' mouths wouldn't even move, which that kind of made me go, really? Like you guys couldn't have taken a little bit of time to make the mouths move?
Yeah, so I have a question for you guys. Is that going to actually affect your final grade? Because to be honest with you, it's not going to affect mine because Nindroid can't do anything about that.
Right, and I'm not going to fault Nindroid for it. It's still in the movie, so I do have to dock at least a point off.
Okay.
For it, and it's like if it was like one scene, then it's not a problem. But it was like a good majority of this film that I see this, and it kind of like took me out of the movie, especially with like some of the action sequences. I think. Because, because it looked like stuff from, like the old Star Wars video games, like Jedi Academy and stuff. Like, it looked really awkward, especially in, like, one scene, towards the end. I think that the action scenes, with the animation could have been done better. Like, the stuff that was, like, some of the action scenes at the beginning were cool, but I do think that the animation is a big negative because the animation just looks really out of place, especially for like a movie that's supposed to look really good. Like I thought I was gonna get like Battlefront 2 type models. We kind of got like models that would look like from like the PS2 era. So I'm not gonna hold the movie against it, but that's just kind of like a big thing that needs to be changed. The pacing. At times, the pacing is really off, and there are some scenes that do feel like they drag out a little too long. Like, you could probably cut some scenes down by a few minutes, because there's really no need for certain sequences to be really lengthy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, honestly, I think 15 minutes could be cut out of this film, personally.
I agree. And that's another negative too. It's a 4-hour movie. At least the cut that we watched. That's a little too long for a middle chapter, if that makes sense. Like, if this was like the last movie, I could forgive it. But for like a second movie in a trilogy, that's very, very long. And while that's not necessarily a big problem because Zack Snyder did this with his Justice League movie, it's like this movie in particular, I don't think needed to be 4 hours. And there is, I think there's like one scene which I definitely know has it, and I think I'm not gonna blame Nindroid for this, but I think he could have blended the live action stuff and the animation stuff a little bit better. Because there are points where like he goes into too much CGI or not CGI, but too much animation, and sometimes it's like It's like
I know the scene you're talking about.
It's like I really wish he blended it a lot better, but again, it's like I'm not gonna fault him on like the animation stuff because I know he didn't work on animation, but at the same time, I kind of have to hold the movie against it because there's so much of it. I just wish the animation was a lot smoother. Let's see here. And those are really just my negatives. It's just really the animation, and I do think certain things go on a little too long. Let's see here. What's up, Bonzo? Bonzo's like, good job, Nindroid. Sour sounds tired. We got Coom in the house. What's up, Coom? Favorite character? Dylan, start us off. Who's your favorite character in this film?
In the original episode 8, I would definitely say Kylo. And in this one, I'm going to say Kylo. But I will say this. A close second, which was not in the original episode 8, is obviously Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker. Okay. I might have to agree with you on that. But we'll talk about when I get to me. Tim's like, how long is the original movie?
I think it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Let me see what the runtime was for last year. 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was longer. Well, it felt longer.
It did. It really did. But yeah, no, it's way longer than the first one. I don't know if this is like the finished cut. I just know that we got what we watched. It was a very lengthy film. So yeah.
But you have to agree with this. Like, again, not all of it is necessary. Some of it's you can deal with. You could cut some of this out. But you gotta admit that what Nindroid has added to make it to the 3-hour point is actually necessary to improve the overall film.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if he wasn't able to do that in a 4-hour movie, then it'd be like then the runtime would be a huge negative, because it's like, well, what were you doing for 4 hours? Like he did make a really good story, and I really don't think there's any real plot holes in this film, and I could attribute this to the fact that it's 4 hours. Like, everything flows together really nicely. I like certain things he puts in here. Does like a lot of things, like there's a couple things I agree could be cut out, but not necessarily a big deal. Then Sour, who's your favorite character?
Favorite character would probably be Luke, if I'm being honest. Luke was the highlight, definitely, of this really great movie.
All right. I'm gonna have to agree with Sour here. I liked Luke. Like, Luke was not only such a huge improvement over the theatrical cut, but also he was somebody that, like, I was interested in because of the scenes that were added in. And I'd say Kylo was a really close second. I think Kylo was just as good in this movie, if not better, in this cut. Like, both characters are phenomenal. I mean, those are really the two standouts. I mean, Kylo was a standout in the theatrical cut. He, of course, is going to be a standout in this film. Like, all of it just works. So, with that being said, let us get into our final grades and our final thoughts. Actually, here, let me change this up. Final grades and final thoughts. Final grades and final thoughts. Sour, we're going to start with you. What are your final thoughts and your final grades?
Sour.
All right, sorry about that. I'm still here. Final thoughts. I thought the movie was really great. And yeah, I'd give it a low 9 out of 10.
All right, good deal. Dylan, what are your final thoughts and your final grade?
My final thoughts is this was a really well done story, and it builds up so much. It leads up to episode 9. It actually makes you excited to see the next version of the story, which will be of course episode 9. Because at the end of episode 8, you're not excited to see the next chapter of the story. This one definitely improves that. Again, he definitely improved Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker feels like a hero again in this, which is fantastic. Rey fixes Rey. She doesn't feel like a Mary Sue, which is arguably, that could be argued. People argue about that constantly, whether she's a Mary Sue in episode 8 or not. This one, she does not feel like a Mary Sue, which I actually thought was fantastic. Overall, I just think this is a great cut of episode 8. And my final grade for it is 8 out of 10, which is a far improvement out of my 1 out of 10 from the original episode 8. And indeed, assuming some issues get fixed, it could definitely be a 9 out of 10.
All right. Yeah, my final thoughts, I'm just going to echo everybody. I think this was a really well done cut. Despite it being a little too long and the animation is very just I think that this movie is really good. The dialogue is great. The pacing, for the most part, is good. I like the characters. Everything in this movie works. And I agree with Dylan. It makes me actually excited to go back and watch the last part of the trilogy, because I want to see how this ends, and I think it sets the last movie up really well. Nindroid did a great job with being able to get into all of this. I'm gonna give it. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna give it a A-, because it's definitely way different than his Force Awakens cut, and this is way different than the Last Jedi theatrical cut, because his Force Awakens cut, you really didn't have to change it, but I like the things that Nindroid put into his Force Awakens cut. This movie, he put in a lot of time, and you could tell that a lot of it is really good. It all works nicely. Everything. It just overall, everything it's good. I really did enjoy it, but it's just overall, both films, are a success in my view. I think they're both really good. They definitely set up the story perfectly. I can't wait to see how he wraps it up. So, I think that's really just the overall review of the Nindroid cut, because there's really not much to say unless we go into spoilers, but we're not going into spoilers today, because the 29th, the day after the Nindroid cut is officially released, we are going to be doing our spoiler review, where we're basically going to go more in depth with this film. We'll basically just go through everything we said in this stream, but we'll go more in depth with plot points, certain characters. But just overall, guys, go and see it. Coming out October 28th, either it's around 6 o'clock. Go and check it out. It's going to be a great time. Just, go and see it, guys. Hashtag release the Nindroid cut. I don't know what else you guys want me to say. It's really, really good. There's really nothing else to say. So, unless you guys have any other thoughts, we're going to wrap it up. So, you guys got any final thoughts?
No, I think I've said everything I can without getting into spoiler territory. So,
all right. Sour, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. With that being said, we are going to close up shop. I know this is a very short stream, but this stream mainly, we want to get our point across with this stream. Like, it's not supposed to be anything like major, but at the same time, it's really big because this is the first time we're reviewing a movie, pre-release, and I hope you guys are excited to see it and hearing our thoughts. So, with that being said, I think we're just gonna wrap it up here. Dylan, where can they find you at?
Okay, so because on my channel we can't exactly triple stream it because the whole StreamYard thing. So so actually on my channel I plan to do a short non-spoiler review as well. Probably tomorrow. I'm basically just gonna be rehashing everything I said here tonight, though. So, but hopefully you guys will go over there and get some likes. You guys can not only find me on Nindroid 243 channel #release an Nindroid cut. You can also find me on the Austinator and the Sauerkraus. You can why did I say the Sauerkraus? My God. Anyway, you guys can of course find me on my own YouTube channel where those videos will be coming up in the next few days. So subscribe, hopefully.
All right, good shit.
With that said, I have a pie in the oven, so guys, I'm gonna actually click out. Sorry.
All right, no problem, Dylan. Thank you for coming in. Sour, where can they find you at?
I am on Discord at Sauerkraus and 4433. I am also on Twitter and Instagram at Sauerkraus06, and I can be found on the Austinator's channel, Nindroid 243's channel, and Dylan's little hobbies channel. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow, the conclusion of the What If channel, finally. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to catch it. We're going to be reviewing the 3 latest episodes.
All right, good shit. You guys can just find me here on my channel. Tomorrow, we got a couple streams going on. Tomorrow, you can find I'm doing an interview with Nindroid 243 where basically I'm just going to review Nindroid, and I'm going to ask some questions. You guys can also put in your questions in the chat. So be sure to look out for that. Also, Shadow White tomorrow, where we're going to be reviewing Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. So be sure to check that out. Also, Mondays, good old wrestling. We're reviewing WrestleMania 18, big Hogan Rock match. Me and Angry Care Bears Saturdays are going to be talking Freddy's Death, Final Nightmare, and a bunch of other stuff. And also, you can find me on Anzo's channel, LDG's channel, Sauerkraus' channel, Nindroid's channel, Zach Axiola's channel, Dylan's Little Hobbies channel, basically everybody's channels, JJ's channel, Chris Knight's channel, basically everybody's channels at this point. That about does it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. This is the Austinator signing out. #release the Nindroid cut. Later, guys.